So today we're here with a remote version of the ePropulsion Spirit 2. We're going to unbox it, show you what comes in the box with it and what doesn't, the different control options, some of the limitations that we have with the remote version of the Spirit 2 right now in the summer of 2026, and then we'll compare it to a tiller version, so that way if you're trying to decide which one to get, you should be able to figure it out pretty easily after you've watched this video. So let's start with taking everything out of the box and showing you what's inside. All right, so we've got the motor itself, right? Our transom bracket, this one's different than the tiller version, right? It has the remote arm steering linkage ready to go. Then the remote arm steering linkage itself, some hardware to go with it. This communication cable is actually in there in error by the factory, so the first couple ones will have it, but they won't have it in the future. And then finally, our charger and our user manual. Notably, right, you don't have your battery in this box. That comes in a separate box. The control comes in a separate box, and the protocol converter comes in a separate box. So if you buy a remote version of the Spirit 2, at least at this time, you'll need the protocol converter. That comes in this little box. It looks like this. It is not automatically included inside of the box. If you order this from a dealer like us that knows what they're doing, they'll make sure you get one of those. If the dealer doesn't know what they're doing, then you won't be able to use your motor until you get that. The reason that this protocol converter is necessary is that the Spirit 2 eventually will use new controls. So a new version of the top mount remote throttle and the side mount remote throttle that we're going to show you in a minute. But for now, summer of 2026, we think late 2026 they're going to have these new controls available, but for now it uses those old controls. So the Spirit 2 right here, that's an 8-pin connector, which one end of the protocol converter plugs into, and then that converts it back to the older 6-pin connectors. In the future, it'll just be, I believe it'll just be a cable that's 8-pin to 8-pin for the new controls. This protocol converter is not an extra cost, at least from us. I think MSRP is $1. You've got about 3, maybe 3.5 feet from the motor end to the protocol converter, and then the rest of this cable is about 15 feet, so you've got a good amount of length. All right, so when you're going to buy this, if you want the remote, you're gonna select remote shaft on the product page. That gets you everything on this table, except you probably won't have that cable. We'll pull them out so that doesn't get confusing, and you'll definitely have that protocol converter. If you want to use an external battery, like a larger ePropulsion battery or a third-party 48-volt battery, choose the no battery option and then buy the external battery cable and whatever battery you want to use. But most people use the Spirit Battery Ultra. Note that the charger is included in the box with the motor and not with the battery. The battery is on its own in the box. All it has is a user manual and a little cap for the connection port there. And then finally, you'll have to choose a control. So there are two options. There's the Evo top mount remote control. We don't have ours in a box, but it does come with the user manual and 2 kill switches. The other option is the Evo side mount control. So the top mount is designed to mount to a flat horizontal surface. The side mount mounts to a vertical surface. It's flush mounted, so you'd cut out holes for the throttle, right? Data cable connections there. This mounts flush to a vertical surface. There are 2 kill switches in there, user manual, and then this is your screen, right? So this connects to the motor and to the throttle there. So you'll have to choose one of the two. But right now, we don't recommend that you get the side mount throttle here, and that's because of the current limitations with the remote version of the Spirit 2. So like we were saying before, there's going to be new controls. These are the older ones. They work with the Spirit 2, but they don't give you the same functionality that you get with the tiller version. So I'll show you here, right? You can see on this screen that it's a nice color display. You've got a lot of different options. You can limit your max power output, do all these different things, brightness, day light mode, color display, day night mode. You can't do that with the older controls, and notably right now you can't do boost mode either. We do know that ePropulsion is coming out with a software update. It's only going to be for the top mount, which is part of the reason why we don't recommend getting the side mount, where you can use boost mode. You'll have to get this to a dealer to flash that update on there. And once we have that update, we'll flash these before we send them out when anyone buys a Spirit 2. But it's important to keep that in mind. We want to be really clear on those limitations. When the new controls come out, you will be able to purchase those new controls again for an additional cost, and they'll be very similar to the functionality on that current display on the Spirit 2 tiller. And one more thing that we want to be really clear on with the Spirit 2 is you cannot connect this throttle or any future throttle to it via Bluetooth. With the older Spirit 1.0 Evo and the Navy motors, you could connect this via Bluetooth to your motor, but you cannot connect it to the Spirit 2. That's something that they decided to phase out with the Spirit 2. We're not really sure why. We really loved it. We thought it was a great feature, but the older control and the newer ones that are coming out, neither will connect to the Spirit 2 via Bluetooth, so you have to use a wired connection with this protocol converter or down the line a different cable for the new controls. So if you're trying to decide between the remote and the tiller version, the decision's pretty easy for most people, but can get a little bit trickier if you have a sailboat. So with the remote version, obviously you are controlling your speed with a remote throttle, right? That's wired to the motor. You're not using the end of the tiller to control your speed, but also think about how you're going to steer, right? If you don't have a steering wheel on your boat, you've got to get the tiller version in order to steer, unless you're a sailor, right? So if you have a pontoon boat, a john boat with a steering wheel, with a console, you'll use the steering link arm, right? That's gonna go right here, and then standard Teleflex steering, rotary steering system will hook that up to your wheel. And if you don't have a steering wheel and you're on a dinghy or a pontoon boat or any boat where you wanna be able to steer with this tiller, the tiller is the way to go. If you are a sailor, then you have a little bit harder of a decision to make, right? You can get the tiller, right? On some boats that works really well, but on others like mine, a Flying Scot, if you've got a big gap between the end of the cockpit and where the motor is, the tiller is not very convenient because you have to be leaning way back. It can be hard to control. Sometimes the tiller is hitting the stern of the boat, right? So that might not work very well, but you also don't have a steering wheel usually on a small sailboat. You usually have a tiller that's connected to the boat's rudder. But even if you do have a steering wheel, right, you're probably not linking it into this. Instead, what you can do is lock this centered, right? Right now it can turn, but on the bottom of this bracket, we can slide this tab, and now this motor is locked straight. It can't turn. So you can have this on your sailboat, lock this centered, control your speed with the throttle, and then just use your sailboat's rudder and tiller to steer. So this stays straight and you're just using that tiller, and your throttle is somewhere conveniently located in your cockpit. So usually that's a better solution for most sailboats, in my opinion at least. The drawback of doing that is that you won't be able to make turns as tight as you can if you have the tiller version, right, and you're moving the motor and the propeller to turn your boat. So if you have a really tight slip to get in and out of, right, something tighter than what's behind us here, and you've got to make tight turns every time you use your boat, you might want to go with a tiller. But if you don't have to get in and out of a tight slip and make those really tight turns often, the remote version's probably going to be a little bit more convenient in the long run. And if you want to see what we're talking about with the screen on the Spirit 2, we've got a ton of videos where we go through this whole motor. We'll link some of those right here so you can take a look at it if you want to learn more, but there's a lot of stuff that we have on the Spirit 2. If you still have questions after watching these videos, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can also head over to our website, emoelectric.co, where you can find even more resources on electric outboards.